All right, welcome back to the Beam. If you're just joining us, I am still with Mr. Elbzakwobi and Barrister Chukwuma Ezeala, and we're still looking at Nigeria's economic crisis and the way forward. Coming to you, Barrister Ezeala, let me quickly just ask. Like I said earlier on, Fayose has said that Tinubu is trying. Amechi has said we need to call for a protest. Vice President Shetima says, hey, in a few months, we're going to be seeing certain dividends. But you are saying that there is a certain divide that is hindering the progress and us attaining that Nigerian dream. I want you to, land on that thought.
Okay, now let me. I wouldn't really want to mention names, but number one, when we talk about what Mr. Fayose, he is somebody I have respect for, especially for his boldness. However, these are expectations. When he was governor, what was he able to do? So if he was able not to do so much, if another person is doing as much as he has done, the person has tried. So when you look at people that are talking, you say, what did they do when they were in charge? And that is the expectation you have from them. And I do not think that the politicians are the right people to ask, because they will look at what they did. If you ask somebody like maybe Mr. P2B and say whether the government has tried, he will look at what he did. He may tell you he has not tried. Today, whether the social media or nobody has said that Fayose did very wonderfully well in Ekiti State with the resources he had. So when you also look at Amechi, Mr. Amechi, he will say, that he had expected Nigerians to do something more. Now, but when we look at the scenario, can Nigeria do something more? The problem now is that Nigerians are being moved to a stage where they cannot be controlled when they react. In those days, when the government is not functioning, you have the likes of our current president and some others who tries to get the people to demand for good governance, and they fund it. So there was control. This stage, there is no more control. There's nobody now who is trying to get the people and the opposition to talk. So the day Nigerians take up the whole thing against this federation, is going to be very, very terrible. Go and look at the Arab uprising. There was no control. There was no viable opposition. And that was why they got there. So Nigeria, we are calling on the politicians. They know they can't go to overseas. Yes, they must have stolen so much, believing that they can go to US, go to Europe and stay. No, they cannot. It's important they understand it. It's important all of us come back to look at what are we doing. If you have saved money from jacking up of fuel prices, all the things you have saved, where are we seeing it? Where is it in the educational institutions? Where is it in medical facilities? Where is it in the road infrastructure? Where is it in employment generation? Where is it in attracting investors? What are you doing to attract investors? If you're looking at how they are taxed in Europe and you want to bring that model into Nigeria, where nothing is working, offices are closing. Maybe they don't know. Because when you pay a staff 70,000 naira, they say it's minimum wage. The staff gets to work. Transport alone takes that 70,000 naira. For those of us that are in Lagos, you work on the island. You come from the mainland. Many of us are the employers of labor. You come from the mainland into the island, and they go back. At the end, you're spending, some of them are spending 4,000, some are spending 5,000 daily. For 20 days, 5,000 or even if it's 4,000 for 20 days, already 80,000. Who will work under that situation? Nobody. So, and then many workers are not even receiving that 70,000. Some are receiving just 40, 50, 30. So that means the economy is completely going down. These people are frustrated. If you go to Festac Town, all the things they used in building things, they've all been stolen because people are hungry. If you go to Yaba, it is a terrible thing. If you go to Lekki area, especially moving down to VGC area, it is a terrible thing. I think the president should have private commissioning of people to find out what is happening. If you have verified, what are you doing? So I think all hands should be on deck. The media, all of us, we should be able to speak out to avert the calamity that is hanging on the air.
All right.
Let the death.
I need to get to Mr. Okpobi for something finally from him. I want to know, you earlier mentioned something about the Labour Congress. do you think that they have failed the Nigerian people in really holding the government to account, in really making sure that the government reneges on some of the steps they've taken?
I don't think they have failed the Nigerian people. I just think the government at the center is systematically reducing their strength. Mostly with you've seen cases where it's either the president of Nigerian Labour Congress being arrested, or the police. There's a alleged issue of they burst into their offices. We've not heard that before now. And in as much as to an extent the president has appealed that we should give him time, I'm overwhelmed with shock that in his administration, for someone who used to be an activist, or someone who was good at calling people out, it is not his administration that we have cases of the president of Nigerian Labour Congress being arrested. And I'm still surprised that the likes of one of the founding fathers of the president of Nigerian Labour Congress, Adam Soshomole, is still muted at the moment. Those are people that we're looking forward to, that will come out to say this is what should be done. Let's not forget to the words that are coming out from the mouth of some leaders who've contracted governance, to some leaders who our tax pays their luxury. Mostly the Senate president, the words that are coming out from him about is not inspiring at all. So they should go back to their drawing board, and they should know that there's a critical mass of young people. They need to give better better environment as far as Nigeria is concerned. Like my fellow presenter said, we are sitting on a keg of gunpowder as Nigerians, and once there's an explosion, it will be very, very difficult to control.
All right, we're hoping we don't get to that. Gentlemen, I want to thank you for coming on the program today. Thank you very much for your insights.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for inviting me.